Hey everybody, it's me, Greg, from LeGrand, Drain Cleaning and Pressure Washing, Gainesville, Florida. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the economy or lower cost gutter vacuum system that I got. I'm going to give you my first impressions of the unit, but I'm also going to tell you about some things you really want to consider before you buy a gutter vacuum system for your gutter cleaning business or pressure washing business. So we're going to get in the truck, we're going to check some things out. I'll be right back. Hey, we're back and we're looking at the truck here, and I just want to point out the first thing you may want to consider. I'm going to get into if I like this or I don't like it, or if everything I thought about it is true or not true in a little bit, but let me just give you some things to consider first. First thing is real estate. This thing is going to take up a lot of real estate, so you're going to have a trailer, a van, or a truck where you can fit the unit itself. That's the 20-gallon unit. You'll also have a large pole down here, that whole big bag of all your poles, okay? In addition, you have to have somewhere to stow your extension cables way back there. I've got two 50-foot 30-amp cables. I'll have a link to those, by the way, on Amazon because they're one of the lower cost ones I could find. You're going to need a place to store your hose. And then, of course, if you have any accessories like I do, the vacuum actually comes with some like regular vacuum floor accessories, which I won't use, but you might have some extra couplings or, you know, connectors or whatnot that you're going to use. So I got a box that I put all that in, and I'm going to put my electric drill in that box with my all my little screws and stuff that I use to connect downspouts and whatnot. So that's not a big deal, but it does take up a lot. And one thing you're not seeing here, I still have to make some room back here, and I'm still organizing. My generator hasn't come in, and I'll do a video about that later when it gets here. But I can put a link to it, the one that I bought. So that's going to take up another hunk of real estate. So another factor that you might want to consider is how you're going to inspect the gutters before you even get this. Now, you can buy their system with a pole and a camera and all that, or you could just make one like I did up here. And I got me a pole from Lowe's, and then I bought a couple things from Amazon. I'll have links to those. And I made my own pole that I can hook up my own GoPro that I'm using now. And I can hook up my tablet, and they sell a smaller one of those for phone. But that works for me, so I can inspect the gutters, and then later I just swap the GoPro over to the vac to, you know, film it or look at it while I'm cleaning. So think about all that. You know, do you want the camera? Do you need the camera? And the last thing you want to remember is, look, this is all based on budget, how handy you are. You may not do it like I do. You know, you may get the bigger one right off the bat, but I'm going to plan on making some mods here. So keep all this in mind, and also keep in mind how heavy this thing is. This part is relatively light. The 3 motors up here is pretty heavy. So in my case, I will take this motor assembly, just, you know, pop it off, set it down, take the vac out, and then put it back on. Younger bucks, you might just want to pick it all up at once. So, of course, if that's full, you're going to have to empty it before you lift it up in there. So consider all that before you buy one. So let's go look at it piece by piece and see what I think about it. Welcome back, everybody. So let's go around this thing and point out some features. If you haven't done so already, please hit that thumbs up button that you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you really want to help me out, you can either leave a comment in the comment description, which I'll probably try to answer for you, or you can use my Amazon link and buy anything you want to buy, and I'll get a small commission with no charge to you. So let's get into it. The first thing that I told you about is, or maybe I didn't tell you, there is a video comparing the economy unit to the name brand expensive unit, and they point out some legit things. So, you know, for $2,000 more, 2/3 the price higher, it should have more. But in my mind, I'm going to do some mods of these, so let's go through this real quick. The first thing, in the pictures I look at this and you think, oh, that's a great big 2-inch hose and whatnot, and I really kind of skimmed through. So the first question you want to ask is, what size is the hose? And it's actually an 1.5-inch hose. Now, I kind of knew that going in, so that doesn't bother me. Will it be as good as a 2-inch hose? Theoretically not, because you can fit more stuff inside. However, on the suction end of it, it should be pretty good because you have a little bit smaller hose constricting on a big 3600, the 3 motors. So if you're going to get a big hunk of grass, but we'll find that out when we get going. The other thing is they talked about the cart being a little sturdier. Now that's a welded cart. I don't have a problem with the cart at all. Yes, the wheels are a little smaller, but I can go to Tractor Supply for 15 bucks. Once again, $1,200 versus $3,300. I'll probably put about 200 bucks doing some upgrades. We'll get into it later. So the wheels are a little smaller. One thing I don't like is this handle's a little low. Okay, so when you're going back, it does get a little low. I don't know if the other machine is this low or a little higher, but that's a personal preference thing. One thing I don't like, when you tilt this back, you see how that's going like that? I'm worried about this cord getting knocked up, so I'll probably just turn this a little bit so it doesn't hit here. It's not a big deal, but it's just something to watch for. This connection down here that swivels, okay, you can move those buttons up, I think, and take that all the way off. Seems like a pain, but basically when you take this lid off, then you can just swivel it down and dump it. Now to stop this from going this way, I'll probably add something. Down there, there's a little fitting. When I do the mods, I'll show you, which I think they put on backwards, that clips over the drum so it doesn't tilt back when you do this. But I'll show you that later. It's not a big deal. It does have the 3 motors. It is kind of heavy. I've got it disconnected here, so you just lift it off. Now it is fairly heavy, okay, and you got to be kind of careful with it because this is, a float for your wet back. As it fills up, this goes up and finally shuts it off. So if you're doing a lot of water, now it comes with a big basket filter like this that sits down on top, just like that. Okay, and then that sits in there, so to be sitting like this. I may get a different type filter like the shop bags have, like a foam filter or something, to reduce that. And the reason I'm thinking about that is because the inlet here is pretty close to that filter. So more than likely, on one of the mods I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of metal, I'm going to put it up a little bit like this, and then bend it like that and come like this, and that'll be a big deflector so it won't hit that filter, because even though that filter is washable, you're having a lot of stuff hitting it. I'm also going to do a mod, and this is just bent down like that. There's a relatively small hole, which you'll see in another mod video, and I'm going to open that up for now. So you'll see that later. The handle is about the same. Drum's about the same. This is the 50-foot cord that comes with it. The 16-footer might have a 35-foot cord, and then you can see the dongle attached. That was all as expected. This little strap didn't come with it, but with those extension cords I show you, there was one that came with each one. Since I'm not using them, kind of made it nice to hang up. This little plastic thing here is for the accessories, the 2 metal poles, which I'm not going to use, so I'll take that off as it's kind of getting in the way, and it's kind of cheesy. The way they put this drain hose in, I kind of like this. I wish they would have moved it just a little more that way, but it's not a big deal. So there's a 1-inch plug here. You pop that off, you let the drain hose go out and drain your water off, and that way then you can tilt it back, and it does go back fairly easy. Of course, now I can't get a hold of it with one hand, but tilt it back, dump everything off. Now, since I have it back like that, we might as well look at that little part that I was telling you about. So if you look at that little part right there, I think that this is supposed to be turned around that way, and then that clips on the rim. So, but it's riveted in, so I gotta drill that out to change it, but I really don't care. It's not that big of an issue. So all in all, it is a decent built machine as far as the drum goes and the motors go. I'm going to get back over that in a minute. There are some little parts that they went inexpensive. you look at the back here, they didn't put washers or little rubber grommets on the back of that inlet, whereas if you look down there, you'll see they did for the handles. So I'll probably add those when I take this off. I'm just going to screw those forward to cut that open. So other than that, you know, in this hose, which I guess isn't really that bad. I mean, I don't know one vacuum from another, but what I'm trying to tell you is just be careful. Don't be banging this hose around. Don't be banging this around. You know, it does have some plastic parts, as all vacuum cleaners do, and you just don't want to bust them up or you'll have to order some more parts. Clips are on good. This holds the motor top on, so all that's fine. You know, once again, $1,200 machine versus a $3,300 machine. I plan on doing about $200 of my own little upgrades. So back to this. As I stated earlier, this is plastic. Be careful with it. Don't just drop it, because if you do, you will bust it. So that just sits like this. And then this cord goes here. So one thing I wish they would have done is put an exhaust port on here. I'll show you what I mean here in just a minute. Let me just hang this up. So I did take this cover off. That's what these little black lines are for. I wasn't sure if it just came off here or if it came off here. But with these covers off, there's plenty of room. I'm gonna try to find another port like this to put up here. All the exhaust right now comes from down here all the way around. So when I take this off, or maybe venting from here, I believe. I'm sorry, from here. So I'll put some foam all the way around that. When I put the cover back on to make a seal, I'll put a port here. And then not only will I have a vacuum, but if you're going to use a gutter vac for pine needles, everybody knows those are a real pain in the butt, then I can use the same pole and all that stuff for the blowing them out from the ground versus getting up on the roof and using a blower. So keep in mind, once again, getting back to what you're going to use a vacuum for, you know, pine needles are kind of a pain in the butt. Big root systems is going to take a little longer. If there's a lot of roots in there, you got to watch the videos and learn how to work that tip and suck them out of there. It doesn't have on the poles like the other one where you can do a vacuum release for the pressure. But to be quite honest with you, the way the coupling hooks, you know, it just slides on. The little coupling just slides on here and slides on the bottom of the poles. And once that happens, that's what you get your suction from, and then your hand is right there. You can just slide it off. So that's what the coupling looks like. This is on pretty good on here, but you see it's not that hard, so you're kind of holding that. So I'll probably put a hose clamp on this when I install that. Put a hose clamp there, so when I'm working it, if I get a big clump of grass and it's, you know, going and it's pulling it out of the gutter, then I'll move it away from the gutter and I'll just slide that off like that. That'll break the vacuum and the grass will fall down and slide it back on. So this is one of the tips, and these are basically, you know, like a bicycle quick release. You put these on the slotted sides on the poles, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So, you know, the poles, you know, they're one of the disadvantages of the other machine is, or this machine to the other machine, is that the graphite poles are about half the weight of those poles. Now, if you're doing a 1-story or 2-story building, it's really not a big deal. I put them up and I was messing around here. And just for all of you who are wondering, if you don't know this story, I got a comment the other day going, "You live in a trailer, your trailer trash." It's like, wow, really, dude? It's like, okay. Anyways, I moved from New York, relocating the business. Basically, I've got all this experience, and I'm just like you guys. I have to remarket, redo everything, you know, change all my SEO and all that stuff on my website. So I'm down here. I bought this place to camp in. I was staying at my sister's. Then I came over here. I'm looking for a place and a shop. But to be quite honest with you, I came here. I bought this nice trailer with the slides. I put the roof over. I bought the big shed. And it's kind of cheap living. And it has everything I need. And the wife seems to enjoy it. So for right now, you know, why Why go buy another $150,000 home when the $30,000 trailer setup's working just fine? But we probably will move in and get a bigger shop because I got to get some stuff. So that's the story for today. When I start doing mods, I'll do another video. I really appreciate you watching these videos. Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe, use that Amazon link, and I'll have links to everything for this. There's not an affiliate link for the vacuum cleaner, but I hear they're working on one. But I'll have a link to that vac, whether I make anything or not, so you'll be able to use that or find it as well. But there's my old gutter vac. What do you think, guys? I'm just kidding. That's the one for the car. All right, till next time. Adios, amigos. Bye. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really hope you enjoyed them. If you have a comment or a question, leave it in the comments section below. I'll be glad to answer it as soon as I can, or maybe one of my subs will. But remember, please hit that subscribe button that's going to pop up, and YouTube is going to put more videos for you to watch over here. So enjoy yourself, grab the popcorn, and just remember, we really appreciate you being part of our family and subscribing to our channel. All the support you give us has been wonderful. So have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.